Dear students, welcome back to MNR Digital Classes. Now, from this class, we are starting a new series that is on astrophysics. This astrophysics series has totally 14 lectures, including numericals. This first session is dedicated to introductory concepts. The contents of this complete astrophysics are mainly extracted from the textbook An Introduction to Astrophysics by Baidyanath Basu. Another reference book used is Astrophysics, A Modern Perspective by K.S. Krishnaswamy. In addition to these two, some topics were also extracted from the books. Among them, the first important one is College Physics Volume 3 by Sundarajan, published by United Publishers. Second one is BSc Physics by B. Basuraju, that is published by Omkar Publications. Astrophysics part of that series, BSc Physics series. In addition, this one more book that is R. Murugesan, Astrophysics section from Modern Physics by R. Murugesan is also referred for few topics. If you look into the night sky, we see a lot of white dots appearing in the space. It is the sky. These dots are called as the stars. These dots not only represent the stars, but they also include other celestial objects such as planets, asteroids, comets, and even some other celestial objects also. It includes white dwarfs, red giants, and other celestial objects. The position of these celestial objects goes on changes as we make the observation during the different durations of the night, or even if we change the one season to another season, and even if we change the direction, the relative orientations of these stars also changes. Now observe here, this is the view from northwest direction. This is the view in the west direction. This is the view in the east direction. You observe that in each direction, the stars which are appearing in the sky are different. And even if we make the observation in a particular direction, the relative orientation changes during the period. It goes on changes periodically. Now, to understand what makes how the relative orientation of the stars changes in the space, what are the celestial objects, all these details are understood by three main branches of physics. The first branch is astronomy. This astronomy is the branch of physics which deals with the study of celestial objects. These celestial objects includes stars, planets, galaxies, and the super dense remnants of the stars and other celestial objects, other objects in the space, and even the universe itself. This astronomy deals with the study of the relative positions and distribution of these celestial bodies in the space, in the form which form the universe, and the phenomena related with these celestial bodies. The second major branch is the cosmology, which deals with the study of physical origins and evolution of the universe. The third branch is the astrophysics, which is the main theme of this series. This astrophysics deals with the nature, origin, evolution, and the physical properties of the celestial bodies that constitutes the universe. The main goal of the astrophysics is to understand the structure and evolution of celestial bodies and their observational properties with the known laws of physics. These known laws of physics are from thermodynamics. We must know the laws of thermodynamics, which are to be applied for the ionized particles at the higher temperature of the core. Then the laws of quantum mechanics and statistical quantum mechanics, which required to understand the distribution of the particles, and all these laws of different branches of physics were to be applied under extreme conditions of temperature, pressure, and densities. When all these are applied simultaneously, that leads to understanding of the physics of stars, in particular and in general, the celestial objects which constitute the whole universe. Now, in making the measurements of different physical parameters, we need the units. The practical units used in our common life cannot be applied for celestial objects. That is, on the astronomical scales, they are not so convenient. So we need a specific units for making the measurements on the astronomical scale. Now, in this section, we are going to define the units used to measure the fundamental physical quantities, length, mass, time in the astronomical scale. The first one is unit of mass. The mass of the sun, which is often called as the solar mass, is used as the unit of mass in astrophysics, and it is denoted by symbol m dot. The value of solar mass is equal to 1.989 into 10 to the power of plus 30 kg, or this is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of 30 kg. This is taken as the standard reference for the measurement of mass of all the stars. The most masses of the most stars lie within a relatively narrow range of 0.01 times the mass of the sun to 100 times the mass of the sun. The unit of length. The conventional unit of length, that is the meter or kilometer, is not suitable for the measurement of distances on the astronomical scale. So we use separate units. Those practical units used to measure the astronomical distances is the first one, astronomical unit, second one, light year, and third one is parsec. Let us define one by one. Astronomical unit. It is the average distance of the Earth from the sun. You know that Earth is revolving around the sun in elliptical orbit. So the distance is not uniform. So we take the average distance between the sun and the Earth. That average distance is defined as equal to 1 astronomical unit. And it is taken as one of the units to measure the astronomical lengths. 1 astronomical unit corresponds to a distance of 1.496 into 10 to the power of 8 kilometers. It is approximately equal to 1.5 into 10 to the power of 8 kilometers, or if you express this in meters, 1.5 into 10 to the power of 11 meters. It is a very useful unit for the measurement of distances within the solar system, but this unit is found to be very small to express the distances of stars and galaxies. So we define the next unit, that is called as light year. 1 light year corresponds to the total distance traveled by the light in 1 year. So light year is, if the light travels at a speed equal to 3 lakh kilometers per second, then the total distance that it would have been covered in 1 complete year gives the measure of 1 light year. 1 light year corresponds to 9.46728 into 10 to the power of 12 kilometers, and it is equal to, if you express in kilometers, it is equal to approximately 9.5 into 10 to the power of 12 kilometers, or in terms of astronomical units, 6.323 into 10 to the power of 4 astronomical units. It is the unit used to express the distance of visible stars, galaxies, and other celestial bodies. parsec. The measure of distance on the cosmic scale is done by the measurement of distance on cosmic scale is done by another unit called as parsec. 1 parsec is the distance that corresponds to 1 angular second of parallax. If the parallax angle is equal to 1 second of an arc, then the corresponding distance gives us 1 parsec. In the later part of this lecture, we are going to understand how to measure the distance using parallax method. The value of 1 parsec is equal to 3.2616 light years. This corresponds to 2.06205 into 10 to the power of 5 astronomical units. That also corresponds to 3.084 into 10 to the power of 13 kilometers. This is the conversion factor for from one unit to another unit: parsec, light year, astronomical unit, and kilometer. Now, the next quantity is the time. The unit of time used in astrophysics is in astrophysics, we have to deal with wide variety range of time scales. The time scales are different for different astronomical systems. For example, the age of the universe, usually it is of the order of few billions of years. On the other hand, the pulsars, which emits the pulsars periodically after the intervals of fraction of seconds. If you take the period of Halley comet, it is about 75 years. So we come across wide range of time scales, starting from microseconds to very large time interval of few billions of years. So in astrophysics, there is no special unit used to measure the time. The convenient unit is years, is used as the time for large time scales and seconds for smaller time scales with suitable prefixes. The conversion factor is 1 year is equal to 3.156 into 10 to the power of 7 seconds. The next one is the measurement of the stellar sizes, that is dimensions of the stellar objects. If we consider the different celestial bodies, we find that the neutron stars and black holes have the approximate order of length, size 10 to the power of 1 kilometers. White dwarfs and planets approximately have the size 10 to the power of 4 kilometers. Main sequence stars, the most living stars, have the size 10 to the power of 6 kilometers. Supergiant stars have the dimensions 10 to the power of 9 kilometers, and galaxies have the dimensions of 10 to the power of 60 kilometers. So the radius of sun is often used as the unit of stellar size in astrophysics, and it is called as the solar radius. It is denoted by R0, and its value is 6.96 into 10 to the power of 5 kilometers, or approximately we can take it as 7 into 10 to the power of 5 kilometers. Now, in this lecture series on astrophysics, this astrophysics itself is a vast subject. Since we are restricted ourselves to limited number of lectures, so we are not discussing all the parts of the astrophysics. We are concentrating only on the physical properties, evolution, and structure and evolution of stars. This entire series, we deal only with the stars. Now, first let us understand what is a star. Stars are the most fascinating and curious celestial objects because of their lifestyle, which involves the number of stages that in turn it is an interesting story. Now, what is a star? A star is a self-luminous celestial body consisting of hot, dense matter held together by its own gravity. When the gravitational force is strong enough, then the interstellar matter condenses to take a definite shape and size with hot, dense matter such as and starts emitting the energy due to thermonuclear fusion reactions. Such a celestial body is called as a star. Now we are going to understand some important features of star. Stars are the building blocks of the entire visible universe. It is a self-luminous spheroidal mass of gravitationally bound hot and dense matter. It is a spheroidal mass in which the entire matter, which is hot and dense, bound with gravitational force. A star is born out of an interstellar gaseous cloud and lives for a certain amount of time on its internal energy supply and eventually dies out when this supply is exhausted. A star is said to be born when the gaseous cloud in the interstellar matter starts conducting. That is the initial stage of the star. When the matter condenses and when hydrostatic equilibrium is achieved, then a star is set to enter into main sequence stage. In main sequence stage, it lives for a certain amount of time due to the internal energy supply produced by nuclear fusion reactions and eventually dies out when this nuclear fusion reaction stops. Stars radiate isotropically from sustainable nuclear fusion energy source in the interior. The nuclear fusion reaction generates enormous amount of energy to sustain the stability. The stars should emit the excess energy. The energy is radiated, and this radiation emission is takes place isothermically. That means equally distributed in all possible directions. The luminosity of the stars is due to the radiant energy released because of the nuclear reactions inside the core. Next one, a star is in hydrostatic equilibrium. It means the inward force due to gravity balanced by the outward force due to radiation pressure. When the star starts condensing, the gaseous molecule starts colliding, which results in internal pressure, that is the radiation pressure. This radiation pressure when it balances with the gravitational force, which is in the inward direction, we say that the star is said to exist in hydrostatic equilibrium. This hydrostatic equilibrium is one of the important characteristic features for a stable star. Now, the stars may occur either in isolated manner or it may also exist in the form of clusters or multiple star systems. The physical parameters of the stars, the first one, the mass of the star ranges from 0.01 to 100 times the solar mass for most living stars. The radius or the size ranges from 0.1 to 1000 times the solar radii, and radiant energy ranges from 0.01 times to 10 times the solar luminosity. The solar luminosity is about 3.9 into 10 to the power of 26 watts. These are the parameters for most living stars, that is main sequence stars. The next important physical parameter is chemical composition. The most young stars are made up of primarily hydrogen and helium. In addition to this, we find that some trace amounts of heavy elements, very few percent, small percent by its mass. In case of the stellar remnants and other celestial objects, the main composition is hydrogen and helium. In addition to that, we have the trace amounts of few heavier elements such as titanium, carbon, and other objects, other elements. The next one is surface temperature. The surface temperature, that is the temperature at the surface of the star, it is about 3000 Kelvin to 50,000 Kelvin for most main sequence stars. This term surface temperature should not become confused with the core temperature. That is the temperature inside the core. That core temperature is very high, of the order of 10 to the power of 6 Kelvin. This surface temperature is temperature of the surface. Next one, rotation. Most stars rotate rather slowly. As far as the sun is concerned, the rotational period of sun is about 1 month. When we study the physical properties of the stars, we neglect the rotational effects of the stars. The next one, the magnetic field strengths. The magnetic field strengths are of the order of 1 Gauss, that is 10 to the power of minus 4 Tesla, over most of the solar surface. If we measure the magnetic field strength at various parts of the surface of the star, it is of the order of 1 Gauss, except the points where the sunspots are present. At the position of the sunspots, the field strength may extend up to 3000 Gauss. But in case of some living stars, the magnetic field strength may be as high as several thousand Gauss. Even though we discuss so many physical parameters, we can shortlist them as few important physical parameters which are very essential to understand the structure and properties of any star. The extensive studies of the sun and other stars have led to deduct some important inherent physical parameters of the stars. They are, first one, the stellar parallax, that is use the measure of the distance of the stars. Second one, stellar magnitudes, which gives these magnitude scales, gives us the idea regarding the luminosity and brightness of the stars. The stellar color, which gives the effective surface temperature of the star and its appearance. Spectra. The spectra is another important inherent physical parameter which gives us the idea regarding the chemical composition and also the appearance, color appearance of the stars. Stellar mass. It gives the quantity of matter present in the stellar objects and also how the evolution of the stars takes place. The stellar size, it gives the physical dimensions of the star. These 6 parameters, I will repeat again: stellar parallax, stellar magnitude, stellar color, stellar spectra, stellar mass, and stellar size are the inherent physical parameters which are very essential to understand the structure and properties of any star. Thank you. We shall see in the next session.